Hello, everybody, and welcome to Red 2 Chatter, the podcast about everything. I keep on saying podcast, but it's not a podcast.
It's just a show.
It's a show. It's a show.
Or a program.
Of Star Wars.
A channel.
About Star Wars. So, my voice is a bit under the weather, so I won't be as crazy as I usually am. But, yeah. So anyway, we have some... this is Jay, and that's Ryan. I'm Dallin. How are you guys doing? It's going to be a bit of a slow day. My mind isn't working. Okay.
Alright, well, I guess we'll just get right into it then.
Should we? Yeah, okay.
We'll just go start with news from around the galaxy. First bit of news. Looks like The Last Jedi will be the longest runtime of any of the previous Star Wars movies. At right around 150 minutes, I think they said.
Yeah. Considering the exact length of 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours of Star Wars.
That's awesome.
That's great. Can we make it 3 hours of Star Wars?
Right. I mean...
I like how it's the exact... Like, that's the exact length of the movie.
Right. Yeah. And which was the longest one prior
Attack of the
to
Clones.
this?
I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, Attack of the Clones at 142 minutes. So.
Okay, so it's about 8 minutes longer
than
Attack of the Clones.
Yep. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but man, you can really get a lot in 8 minutes.
There's a lot of content in 8 minutes.
Right. So, I don't know what you guys think about this. I'm excited. I don't mind sitting in the theater that extra...
Nope. 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
I mean, Attack of the Clones is the worst one, and it was the longest.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
It was the worst movie.
It's my least favorite.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I say worst, but it's my least favorite.
Well, I guess that makes it the worst.
Worst, yeah.
It's not the worst movie ever, though.
Semantics, no.
Okay. But I have no problem with it either. I'm wanting to, the more Star Wars, the better. So if you can make it 3 hours, 4 hours, I don't care. I'd sit there the whole time.
Yeah.
In fact, we already have our tickets. Because a friend of my wife's actually rented out an entire theater. So, opening night, which would actually be the Thursday, the 14th, we'll be in the theater at 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30. We're going to be some of the first people to see it.
Then, so, I'm actually, I haven't talked to you guys yet, but I'm actually thinking about getting tickets for the midnight as well.
Yeah.
And going back to back.
And then back to back.
Get out of that theater.
I mean...
Go to the next theater, which, this theater's at the one without reserved seating, or the one that's reserved. Obviously, there's no reserved seating in that one.
Yeah.
It's first come, first serve. But if we get it for the 12 o'clock show at the reserved seating theater, we know we'll already have our tickets. We don't have to get there until right at midnight if it runs right up to it.
Oh, crap.
You'll have your seats there.
Is that one theater with the comfy seats?
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
with the full recliner?
Yeah, with the reclining seats. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about getting the midnight tickets to that one.
As well?
At that theater on the for opening night.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
It's a Cinemark.
You guys should be looking. I'm not 100% sure when tickets go on sale. I'm going to guess it's going to be around the release of this trailer.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess, too.
Yeah.
Which we'll be talking about the trailer coming up. So, and actually that's a good segue, because on October 9th, it has been confirmed by Lucasfilm that the trailer will air Monday Night Football, October 9th.
Yep.
Which is not this Monday, but next Monday. It's coming up.
Right. It's, a week away.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe we'll be able to talk about it. It just depends on when we record.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to try to do a trailer reaction.
We are going to do the trailer reaction.
So
it might be just like a short 5-10 minute video that we'll put out.
Yeah. I mean, we watched the original teaser how many times?
Yeah, well,
and we just sat in my room
Celebration.
and just like...
Right.
Yeah, we just sat in my room at our townhouse, and we just watched it like 10 times.
Yeah,
I'm sure. So we're gonna do like a trailer reaction. We're gonna not see it until we record ourselves watching it.
Yeah,
and then after that, I'll probably watch it 20 more times. So
that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to do not to watch it.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right, so moving on to the next bit of news. Domhnall Gleeson, who plays General Hux, had an interview where he talks about his first impressions of the script when he got the script for the first time for The Last Jedi.
So
that's some pretty cool comments.
Yeah, I'll just quote him because it's not that long of a quote. So he says, when I read it, I needed to talk to him, and I think that's always a good sign. I was like, well, there's some stuff there which is kind of not scary, but different to what I expected. And that's a really, really nice thing. I think that's a really positive thing. I think that's important for those films that we don't repeat ourselves. So I just wanted to talk to him, and when I talked to him, he was so clear and so confident, not in a brash way, but he knew the film he wanted to make, and it was a really lovely thing. He also commented on J.J. Abrams' return to Star Wars for Episode 9, saying, I found out like 2 seconds before, but nothing's revealed about which, if any of us are in Episode 9 or not. I think it's really cool that he's doing it, and I'm interested to see how he approaches it because he's a superb filmmaker.
Right, so obviously in Donald's first quote there, the him refers to Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
So, and I just like his comments, like, we're going to get something very different.
Yeah.
I think we are going to get something different.
Oh, me too.
I mean, if you've seen Rian Johnson's other movies, especially like Looper, which I really enjoy.
It's a good movie.
Quite a bit.
It's a good movie.
He approaches filmmaking a little differently, I think, than some other directors.
He does it not so much in a linear form.
Right.
I haven't seen any of his movies, so I'm...
We need to watch Looper sometime.
Yeah, you should watch it.
So I don't know about
I haven't seen Brick, though. I haven't
Me
seen
neither.
that movie. But
Me neither.
I should watch it. All right. So, any other comments about Donald Gleason's comments?
No, I'm just glad that Rian Johnson's approachable enough that the actors just go to him and, maybe go, hey, what's exactly are you thinking here, or what are you doing? And he's like willing to just tell him, this is what I'm thinking. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Wow, I didn't expect this to happen. Are you?
Yeah.
Is this what's really happening?
Yeah.
So I'm just glad Rian Johnson's approachable by actors and people are able to ask him,
right?
Is this what you want to go with? Yeah, okay. Give me a little more information about this part or whatever, and he's willing to just let them know.
Yeah, it's cool.
I also find it interesting the quote here that says, "I found out like 2 seconds before, but nothing's revealed about which, if any of us, are in Episode 9 or not."
Right. So they,
He can't reveal whether or not people
die
in the
8th movie.
Yeah.
Right. He can't really comment at whether or not he's in Episode 9 because that would give away that, well, we know he makes it through Episode 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think he's being fairly coy there.
Yeah.
And not trying to give away too much information. But it's good to see he's on board with J.J. Abrams. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
All you losers out there trying to sign that petition to get him fired. Just idiots. Right. Anyway.
Yeah, talk about trying to alienate some of maybe our viewers. I don't know.
We don't want you anyway.
Not like we have much anyway. Right.
This is true.
We do it for fun. All right, so Ron Howard has a few tweets again this week. The first one, he sort of references Ralph McQuarrie in his tweet.
Oh.
And asks for a translation of some script. It looks like carved into a wall or something.
I can tell you exactly what that is. A Y-wing, and then D, and then an N. So you didn't. I don't know.
I wonder where that was. I mean, was that from the original?
On the set. No, I think they're going to use it on the set of the Han Solo movie.
I was just wondering if it was from the original movies and he was trying to incorporate it somehow, but okay. Interesting.
Or Yazag. It says, this is as near as I can get you, Ron. Ralph winged it as far as I know, but it was a font he came up with for Yavin 4.
So maybe it's a trip to Yavin 4.
Yeah.
For a young Han Solo.
I don't know why he would go to Yavin, though. I mean...
It depends on it. If he's, smuggling something, I mean,
true.
He could be working for the rebellion.
He
could not even know it.
True.
I mean, who knows?
I'm just saying, I mean, you would think that some of the people would recognize him when he shows up there with Luke and
Right, unless they're
Leia
gone, or who knows. I mean, it's a big base. Maybe you delivered to a different part of Yavin.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or smuggled something off Yavin. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, going on. The next tweet is a tweet of him and Tandy Newton, who's one of the lead actresses, I believe, in the new Han Solo movie. She was on Westworld, if you've ever seen that. HBO show.
Been planning to watch it.
That's good.
Do you know what her part's gonna be? Or
Nope.
We don't know what her part is.
Right,
Which
and I
is
think
fine.
that's sort of like the thing about this image, him covering up that symbol. Is she part of? Because people are speculating it's the Empire symbol underneath his hand, that patch on her shoulder.
The cog.
It could be.
So
It's hard. I zoomed in on it and was
Right.
looking at those, trying to dissect it. I couldn't figure it out.
But then again, what if that's just her casual clothes? And because I've seen people have the leather jacket with the Imperial symbol on the patch on their. So
Right.
what if that's just her regular
Maybe
clothes?
that's just her actual her clothes.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not
yeah.
Like
Not
some
something-
costume.
Not a costume.
Knowing Ron Howard, like he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, he's gotta be.
He's covering that little piece up just enough so you can see the top of it. And then I even zoomed in and tried to read. There's like some green lettering on his shirt.
Those green
It
letters.
didn't seem to make much sense to me as far as like Star Wars type stuff. So
I like Pete Morrison here. He
he really
comment.
zoomed in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
So
tell.
I mean,
It could
if
be
she's playing a bad guy, she plays a pretty menacing character in other roles she's been in. So it should be pretty cool
Yeah.
to see her. And I have no idea what she's playing.
no.
No.
Okay.
All right, so short descriptions for the first 6 episodes of Rebels are in.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll just go over each one.
So we got Heroes of Mandalore Part 1. Sabine leads Ezra, Kanan, and an army of her fellow Mandalorians back to her home world to rescue her father from the clutches of the Empire.
Which that makes sense. That would be. Oh, is that not the finish?
Well, that's the
That's
part
Part
1.
1.
Okay. That makes sense after you see where you left off at the end of season 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where her and some of her Mandalorians came to help.
Help right now.
Bail
Now
her
she's
bills
going
out.
to need some help.
Now she needs the reciprocation from
Right.
the Jedi and from the rebels.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense why that would be the very first episode.
Right.
And then it says, when Sabine discovers the Empire has resurrected a devastating weapon she created and plans to use it against her people, she must decide whether to destroy it or use it herself.
So that sounds pretty interesting.
That one-
for a part 2 of that.
And definitely some character development can definitely be used.
Right. Like, so Sabine's fairly good at building devastating weapons
Yeah. Yeah.
if she created it. So, yeah, it should be an interesting opening to the season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's
And then-
almost here.
Yep.
In the Name of the Rebellion Part 1. As members of the Rebel Alliance, Ezra and the Ghost Crew must accept a mission to spy on an Imperial outpost they would rather destroy. And in the Name of the Rebellion Part 2, after being separated from Hera and Kanan, Ezra and Sabine join the desperate quest of Saw Gerrera to hunt down the Empire's elusive secret superweapon.
I'm guessing that means the Death Star is a super
Right.
weapon.
So, yeah,
Saw
Saw
Gerrera
Gerrera
was
probably
yeah.
knows about a super weapon being built.
Well, that's why he captures Bodhi in
Yeah.
Rogue One.
Well, that's
but
why
he's also,
Bodhi tries to go to Saw.
Yeah.
But he's also friends with Galen Erso. So
Right.
when they came and took him, and he had to go get Jin,
Yeah, Saw knows about
he
what's
knows
being built
they took Galen Erso
to finish it.
to finish something,
Yeah.
some sort of weapon system, because that's what he did.
And Galen might have even given Saw,
Saw some of the
we're building a
some sort of super
planet
weapon.
killer
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
weapon. So it's interesting that Hera and Kanan get separated from Ezra and Sabine.
That must happen in that first episode,
So-
part 1 of that.
Right. So Ezra goes and works more closely with Saw Gerrera. Do you think that'll give him a little more push to the dark side? Like to use like the dark side of the Force, not to go to the dark side, but to use anger.
Maybe
and-
because Saw Gerrera is definitely a polarizing kind of guy. I mean, he's like
Right.
He's definitely a little more hardcore, kill all the friggin' Empire at all costs kind of guy, instead of strategically trying to take down the Empire. He just let her go face straight
Yeah,
on and
right.
Yeah.
just guns a-blazing kind of guy. So that he might influence Ezra
a little bit, even more. Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Then you have Ezra and the Ghost Crew. This is occupation. Ezra and the Ghost Crew are called back to Lothal when a new Imperial threat rises.
So who's going to be Liz? My guess is this is where Thrawn's going to come in.
Yeah.
Back in, and is going to try to lay siege to Lothal.
Yeah.
To try to force the rebellion
to act or react.
Yeah.
And then we got finally Flight of the Defender. Ezra and Sabine steal an Imperial prototype TIE fighter, but must rely on some unexpected help to escape from Thrawn.
So yeah, see, Thrawn's in the next one as well. So I think the first part, the occupation episode, I think will be the Thrawn Imperial threat.
So it says the 5 air times for the new episodes on Mondays will be 12:30 a.m., 3 o'clock a.m., 7:30 a.m., 5:30 p.m., and 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I wonder who the unexpected help is going to be.
Oh yeah, I wonder. I'm excited to see.
Callus.
Yeah, because they know he's not unexpected.
Yeah, he's not. Right. Well, not that, but he's not. He can't go back to the Empire anyway. They know they know he's Fulcrum. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the unexpected help? Is it going to be? Can't be her. She's too much of an Imperial.
Price.
No.
No, I want to be
Admiral
Price. Would you think it would be List?
Maybe
because
List.
List was, he was framed, and
maybe he's got a little grudge.
Yeah, that
maybe
because Thrawn let Callus basically frame him.
Yeah,
Thrawn knew all along that Callus was the actual Fulcrum. He knew for a fact List wasn't, because List was too stupid to be Fulcrum.
Right.
So it could be that. Or do you think maybe it could be Yularen?
The other Admiral Yularen?
Yeah.
The guy that was the voice of he always did
A Galaxy in Turmoil. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Galaxy in Turmoil.
Yeah,
that guy.
For Clone Wars?
yeah.
I could see where he would, because he was really good. Man, he was pretty close with Anakin and Obi-Wan and the Jedi, so I could see where he might fall into that category of somebody that would be willing to help him escape for some reason.
I mean, we all know that Constantine isn't.
No.
He got blown up.
And I don't think Admiral Price would either. Maybe, maybe the lady that's like the little regional person on Lothal.
Oh, she got shot.
She did?
Yeah, she's dead.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You're right, she is dead.
Yeah, so who knows? It won't be Vader.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Darth Vader.
So those are the 6. Yep, those are all 6 of them.
Yep.
So it sounds like a great opening, 6 episodes for Rebels. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Oh yeah, me too. It's gonna be.
Yeah, they're gonna go quick because they're gonna be all back to back, right?
Yeah,
which is Monday.
Yeah, 2 on Monday, 2 the next Monday, 2 the next Monday,
and then you gotta wait till next year. Then you gotta wait till next year again.
I don't know.
After that,
is that the way it is?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think after that it's January or something.
All right, our last bit of news for News Around the Galaxy is a new trailer for the upcoming episodes. Forces of Destiny is out, and I watched this. The trailer itself is about as long as one of the episodes, but they kind of just give you little flashpoints of all the episodes coming up.
Okay, so
I'm looking forward to watching it.
We get Ahsoka, we have Padme, we have Hera, we have Rey, Leia, Sabine, Jin, and then Sabine's friend. I forget what her name is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, the other, yeah.
Mandalore.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Is she a Mandalorian?
She's the one.
I don't think
they're
she's
the ones that were going to be bounty hunters, or
They both trained in the Imperial Academy,
right? And then one's a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
she's
a bounty
hunter. The rebellion.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited.
She's
to
probably
see more
not.
Of these.
She's probably not Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of these though.
Oh yeah, those are always fun.
I'm excited to get because they have the Rey. I'm waiting for the Ahsoka.
Oh wait, there's also
to come out.
Uncovered descriptions for 2 of the new episodes. That will be TV. That will be part of the new TV specials. So we have Sabine and Jin accidentally meet while fleeing from stormtroopers. That's interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Leia forces Han to get ration bars to feed the Ewoks. An Imperial Feast is the name of that one.
I wonder if that's after they destroy the Death Star.
Maybe.
Or is it before?
Or it could be after 3PO and Luke Jedi mind trick trick the Ewoks into releasing them.
Maybe then she's like, hey, because it kind of goes from day into the nighttime
where they tell him the story.
Yeah, 3PO's telling his story. Oh gosh, Nooch Vader.
Cyclocarbon.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, his little story to the
Ewoks. So yeah, maybe.
And what's funny is like in episode 4, he's like, I'm not much of a storyteller. Telling stories.
Yeah.
That's what he tells Luke when they first meet. And he becomes a really good storyteller.
Yeah, he becomes a Gleeman from a fantasy book. Spinning tales. Okay, so what are we up to now?
Oh yeah.
Alright, so that ends Forces of Death, or ends the Jedi.
News around the galaxy. Jedi. Where did Jedi come from?
The
Jedi
must end.
Jedi ends the Jedi.
So we're gonna do a breakdown of the recent Smuggler's Bounty Box. Ryan's got one here that's been unopened. I've already opened mine, so I know what's in it, but these guys don't know what's in it.
Nope.
So we're gonna do a quick little unboxing.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
So each of them starts out with a patch and a pin on the top.
Yep.
I get my loot anime. I don't get these. This is all Ryan and Jay's stuff.
Yep. And I love the patch. Right off the bat. Old school Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep. Got an old school Obi-Wan Kenobi. Alec Guinness version.
And I'm gonna have to friggin' arm wrestle my sister for the pin.
Oh no.
Because it is Plo Koon.
Ah.
So you know Jordan's gonna want this.
Yeah, and these patches and pins are like super high quality.
It's the same color as my lightsaber.
Like these pins are like,
oh yeah, they're stout.
Yeah, they're like durable.
They're freaking thick too.
Oh yeah,
they're cool.
And then we got a T-shirt here. I'm just gonna bust it open so the glare doesn't get on there.
I thought the T-shirt was pretty cool.
Oh, Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
it's a Qui-Gon Jinn T-shirt.
Qui-Gon shirt.
Sweet. I don't have a cool Qui-Gon Jinn T-shirt.
I don't think anyone has a cool Qui-Gon Jinn.
I don't think I even have a prequels T-shirt. This might be my first prequels.
At least you got a cool crew.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Okay. Oh, we got a Yoda plushie. He can go on our thing out here.
Yeah, right next to the Wampa.
Oh, yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, we'll find a spot for it.
Yeah. There you go.
Cover up Zuckus.
Yeah, we'll cover up Zuckus for a minute.
Oh, you got the same ones.
Ayla
Secura.
Nice.
Pop vinyl. And
one of the cooler female Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nice.
Young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
well,
looks
mid-age Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's like Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Clone Wars are Revenge of the Sith.
Era. The end of the box. So that was everything in there. I thought it was pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in that one.
Oh man, that Qui-Gon Jinn pop vinyl would be pretty cool to have.
Yeah, there's some on the back. We got Qui-Gon Jinn and General Grievous.
Yeah.
I don't have either one of those.
No, me neither.
Yes, these are pretty cool. I like Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. So
yeah, Ayla Secura is really
Ayla Secura is pretty cool.
All right, so
I keep on seeing cosplays of her everywhere.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of girls who like to cosplay Ayla Secura.
So that does it for the Tashi Toy Station.
Yep.
Moving on to Gaming with Gamorreans. We have 2 new Battlefront 2 trailers. The first one is narrated by John Boyega. If you guys haven't seen this one, you definitely need to go check it out.
John Boyega even kind of adds his cheek and charm into the... Because when he's talking about because later heroes and villains will finally be added, such as Finn, of course, right. And the Captain Phasma. Yeah. So,
and it's in his he's British, so if you've never heard him talk normally, it's like a British accent,
full on British.
Yeah, he's got this deep British accent.
So it's cool to listen to him talk about sort of what's going on in that new trailer.
Yeah, it's also really cool to see all the new stuff actually being in action. And now the star cards are actually better, and also there is a split screen mode in this game, which is a split screen arcade mode.
Yeah.
Which is like, I guess you can play multiple bits, like
Yeah.
multiple types of games with your friend on your couch.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I always like those types of games, like just
Split screen.
Yep.
I've always liked split screen. And
2-player split.
there's a game coming out called A Way Out, which might be bringing back split screen, like to the mainstream games, which I hope so, because
Oh no, Yoda down.
Yoda down, down I am. And then the other one,
Right, the next Battlefront 2 trailer gives us further details from the campaign mode, and especially more Emperor Palpatine. Well,
yeah,
Emperor Palpatine via the droid, the messenger droid.
yeah, he looks like the messenger droid looks like a character from Halo, doesn't he?
Did any of you guys watch it?
No, I didn't.
I
I
haven't
don't know.
seen that.
It is cool, like, Iden Versio is talking to her father, who is, I guess the highest ranking person, at least on that ship.
Yeah,
Maybe within the Empire at
he
that
looks
point.
like he's like the same rank as Krennic.
Or
He might be a
Thrawn. He's an admiral of some
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of. But anyway, hey, Admiral Versio, we'll just call him for now. He's talking to his daughter Iden about, where they're going to go from here, and they have this message, and the messenger droid comes over and gives the message to both of them, but more talking to the admiral.
Yeah,
And Iden at the end asks a question about like specifics, and the messenger droid like gets right up in her face. You are not authorized.
you are not
this-
authorized to know
like-
that information.
Right. So that messenger droid, like, I don't know if it has like a kill mode, but it was almost ready to terminate her. it appeared. So it's a cool video. You guys will have to check out the
Yeah,
trailer.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
But it's cool. It makes me want to play that campaign mode so much.
Oh yeah, I'm already excited for it. So we have plenty of time left over. So anyone want to do any? Because I don't have any legends. So
Well, let's just do the Force Awakens review then.
okay, yeah, this has been a long
That's
time
fine.
coming
Right.
because we keep on meaning to
been
do
a-
this review.
It's been a while since we did our Return of the Jedi review.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. So I love this movie.
Okay, go ahead and start.
Okay, I'll just start up. I love this movie because, there was a time before this movie came out, before it was even announced and stuff, where I was like, on Star Wars, like I was just like, yeah, I watched the movies, and I've seen some of the episodes of Clone Wars, but other than that, whatever, it's something that I like. I just don't, go completely crazy over it. And then when this movie came out, and I got the new trailers for it, and the teasers started coming out, it just got me more and more hyped. And then afterwards, when I finally saw it, that's when I'm went just full on Star Wars crazy mode, and just started reading into stuff and starting looking at the books and watching Clone Wars. And I absolutely love this movie. I know there's a lot of complaints about this movie, that it's too similar to A New Hope, but when you really look at it from a certain point of view, it really isn't. It's not that close to A New Hope, at all.
No, I don't think it's even.
The
Well,
the
considering
most that you get,
George Lucas really liked the idea of ring theory,
yeah,
it makes perfect sense why we get sort of a similar situation,
Yeah.
if you will, for our main character,
yeah,
who is Rey.
But even then, I mean,
But it's completely different from
Yeah.
Luke's situation.
Yeah.
But it's a similar setting, and
Yeah, I give you that. It has a desert planet, but heck, if you probably look out there even in our universe, I'm sure there's a bunch of desert planets.
Mars.
But she has
So
she obviously has an affinity for getting off the planet and for the rebellion.
but she doesn't want to get off the planet. Though.
And she
doesn't
did- yeah.
doesn't want to get off the planet.
Well,
she wants to stay there.
She wants to get off once her family
Family
comes
back. Yes.
So I think she does she has an affinity for history and for, whereas there's sort of a dichotomy. Like Luke was always looking to the future.
Yeah.
Ray was always looking to
for
the
the
past. And so like they're similar in that way, where their focus is it's opposite, but it's still a similar focus.
Yeah, but like the thing is that Luke wanted to like go and fight for the rebellion.
Right.
Ray doesn't give a real crap about the resistance at all.
Yeah, or the First Order.
Or the
Yeah.
First Order or any of that
At
stuff.
first,
No.
you know, like she.
And I agree. I don't think they're alike as much as people like to say they are.
I think a lot of it had to do with it started off basically on a desert planet and it had another desert planet. I mean,
And the droid has secret information and there's a giant thing that destroys planets. I mean, I can see the similarities, but it's just like...
I mean, they're definitely there, but even if you just follow the storyline, it's a girl on a planet and she's been abandoned, basically.
Yeah.
She's fitting for herself. It's not Luke living with his aunt and uncle and friggin' running a moisture farm.
And then Obi-Wan comes along.
No, they have...
You know?
She's fighting for survival. He was like, not a big deal. I have my blue milk and my food.
Yeah.
He's bored and he just wants to go to Tasha
Station. Yeah.
Pick up some
power converters.
But so.
Yeah.
I see the similarities. Yeah, with the giant base that can destroy planets. Yeah, that's similar. But besides that, I mean,
there's no mentor for her yet, except for maybe Han Solo.
Yeah, but that's more of a
social.
That's
thing.
more of a father-daughter thing than it is a mentor.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's more of a It's not so much Obi-Wan and Luke. I mean, Obi-Wan and Luke, we're more like an uncle-nephew type of situation there.
Who?
A little bit.
Obi-Wan?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Obi-Wan and Luke.
Yeah, that was more like, a crazy old uncle that you were friends with.
Yeah.
Then, but you had Finn, who is a friggin' ex-resistance guy.
You mean
First Order?
First Order, sorry. First Order guy.
Who befriends Resistance.
Who defects.
Yeah, none of that happens in Star Wars.
Yeah,
and A New Hope. I mean, there's a small thing, and there's things like the big bases that blow stuff up, but everybody has a big base that blows stuff up if you're trying to take over the universe. Right. You need something. You need
something threatening.
Yeah.
It certainly was threatening. I mean,
I think the First Order just kind of emulated. They
wanted
wanted to be the Empire, and they weren't, and that's why everything kind of looks similar.
I kind of have a theory. So I was talking about this with our sister, and I was like, what if, the First Order has just been around forever, and they didn't take notes from the Empire. The Empire took notes from their First Order somehow. What if, the First Order's ancient and they've had these ideas, for a long time, and the Emperor kind of saw that and was like, I'll try that out. And so he kind of replicated it as best as he could.
I'm on the flip side. It could be. I'm on the flip side where I think Snoke understood what the threat was and what it looked like that the Emperor had set up, and he wanted it to resemble that so that people automatically associated his First Order troopers with fear. Those are stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So they look enough alike, but very different. So he wanted to get that sort of connection there to give the galaxy just almost hey, we're here. We're back.
Yeah.
And we're better.
Yeah. So similar to maybe what the Nazis did, emulating the Kaiser in World War I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Hitler in World War II, and he kept everything. I mean, it was all pretty much the same type of stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, maybe the symbols changed a little bit. Go figure, the symbols changed a little bit.
Right.
From the Nazi symbol compared to what it was before, which was more of the
and I
it was a
that's
Viking
sort of
symbol.
No, that Iron Cross thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the swastika. The swastika was originally a Viking symbol.
But even Norse. But then everybody associated them with. Right. But then they took it to a whole another level.
And I think that's
destructiveness.
I think that's sort of where Snoke has gone with his First Order, is that he's developed it to look enough so that people who remember it from 30 years before
Or
will know exactly what they're there to do.
And then it's automatic, cower down if that's what you did when the Empire was around. You're going to do that when the First Order showed up. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So another thing that I really love about this movie is basically I like the fight scene between Kylo Ren and Rey, and actually kind of the dynamic that you have between the two of them, because it makes it a little bit more interesting because they are complete strangers to each other. Like, they don't know anything about each other. And so when you see the, and that's probably one of my favorite, things with it when it comes to a villain and a hero. I like it being where they don't know anything about each other until that first confrontation, and then and then they just keep on remembering that, and then their next confrontation, they remember stuff from their last one. I like dynamics like that, and I gotta admit, their fight scene in the snow is probably one of my favorite Star Wars fight scenes to date. It's just I like the clumsy movements of both of them untrained.
Definitely Rey is a little more she's just thrusting like she has she's using her staff.
Staff,
She does a lot of, just trying to poke him.
Yeah.
And then, Kylo being injured has to really, you can tell he's favoring, the injury from Chewbacca, which people get that all twisted too. How could she beat him so easily? Well, he was about to die. He was about to bleed out.
He was.
And the only way he keeps going is hitting himself and making his anger stronger.
Build their adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. I mean, when you're starting to bleed all the way down your whole side and it's dripping onto the ground, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in medical trouble.
Yeah, so I can totally see how.
And they've already demonstrated all the way up to that point how powerful the bowcaster is.
And you also, what's it called? You also had Snoke who said, "Bring her to me." So he wasn't trying to kill her.
No.
He's trying to disarm her and friggin'
turn her to the dark side.
And I'm not so sure.
Captive again.
Kylo wants Rey to join him. He doesn't want to kill her.
No, I think so.
He wants to be able to train her.
Yeah.
As an ally.
Yeah. Just to have another
because he can feel and sense how strong she is in the Force. That I think he didn't ever want to kill her at that moment. He just wants to beat her down enough so that she, will submit basically, and okay, I'll go with you or join you, or I'll be your prisoner, and then you can try to turn me then. But it didn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. Rey was able to fend him off.
Yeah, and also you have to realize she's been out in the desert surviving with that little staff for all her life. So I'm pretty sure she's you see her trip up Finn.
We see her take out those two goons.
Yeah.
That Unkar Plot sends after.
Yeah.
No problem.
So
Finn's even shocked
she's obviously
go rescue her. Obviously not.
She's obviously skilled with a melee weapon. So it kind of makes sense that she would know at least a little bit of how to use the lightsaber. Right. I think she'd be better fit with a double-bladed one. I think she'd do a lot better with that because she's more used to it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't, she didn't have much use for blasters.
No.
On Jakku.
I mean, when she finally picks up that blaster and starts shooting at the
first she doesn't, safety. She had to
forgot
to take the safety
out. She forgot to take the...
she's clumsy with the blaster.
Well, when Han asks her, use one of those, right? It's point and shoot.
Right.
He's like...
You pull the trigger. That's what she says.
You pull the trigger. He's like...
a little more to
that.
Right. Yeah. And so... I just like Rey as a character. I know she gets a lot of flack too for being perfect or whatever.
The Mary Sue.
Yeah, the Mary Sue of the story.
See, I don't buy that at all.
Me neither. I think that she has plenty of flaws. We just they haven't been fully realized yet.
Yeah.
Because I think you're definitely going to see some definite flaws in her character in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some rebelling against
Luke's training.
Also, she's another one flaw that we've seen already. She's quick to anger.
She is.
Yeah. She has a very short temper. So, that makes it very interesting. And it makes it kind of for lack of a better term, Anakin character, because he was quick to anger too.
Yeah.
But Luke wasn't so quick to anger. He was more.
Well, that's not exactly true. Luke wasn't quick to anger, but he was quick to like disappointment, like shut down,
almost giving up.
Yeah,
like
kind of apathy,
especially when you first meet him.
Yeah.
I'll never get out of here.
I can't do anything to, I know, I would love to go with you to Alderaan. I got responsibility here, and he's like all down about it.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, when
he has very bad self-deprecation issues.
He's telling his uncle about, if these new droids do work out, I'd like to submit my application this season. Yeah. He's like, well, I need you for the harvest. Like, that's our biggest time. And he's like, oh, guess I'm never getting out of it. He just
gave up. He gave up the argument.
Didn't even fight with his uncle. Just gave up. So he kind of has that quick to, but not anger, but just just self doubt and
with Rey, it's almost the complete opposite, because she just pushes and pushes and pushes until she gets what she wants from someone. She doesn't give up that easily at all.
No, she's definitely...
Right, and then people always are, how does she know so much about ships? Well, she's only been climbing around ships her entire life. And taking parts off them that she knows what they're used for.
Yeah.
And how they're used.
She knew that Armcar put a compressor or whatever on the Millennium Falcon. She's been in the Millennium Falcon and probably flown in it before.
She probably helped put it on.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that if you look back into her past... She's actually been off of or maybe not off of Jakku,
but up in space.
She's been flying.
She's piloted.
She's piloted something around Jakku before.
Certainly the quad jumpers, because that's where she was going to first.
Yep.
I think she was more familiar with those. That's why she wanted the quad jumper.
Yep, I think she knew exactly how to use it and all its capabilities. And that's why they were going for that first, because the Millennium Falcon is a piece of junk.
Yeah. And another complaint that I see about this movie all the time is Kylo Ren. And I love Kylo Ren. I think he's a really interesting villain. And
why would you have a problem with Kylo Ren?
I don't know. A lot of people just seem to think that he's just whiny and emo.
He is.
He is.
I mean, that's what makes him who he is.
Yeah.
He's just a teenager. Well, I don't know if he's a teenager.
But he's young.
He's a young guy. He's not like he's in... Oh.
He's not Vader, who's...
Luke Skywalker wasn't a little whiny?
Yeah.
Right. Anakin's not a little whiny?
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
Must be a Skywalker thing.
But, Kylo is, a great villain because he's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
You never know,
And also, oh my gosh.
Just what he's going to do.
His fits are one of the best parts about this movie.
Right, and the reason he throws those fits is to get closer to the dark side. Because he can always feel that light
pulling at him.
Side pulling at him. I think all the time, just constantly pulling at him.
Yeah,
because of who his parents are, and he still loved his father and still loved it. Still loves Leia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like the opposite of what Anakin was, where he had the light, and then there was the dark side that kept pulling him.
Right.
It was pulling him. So he wants to be, and Anakin wanted to be a Jedi and wanted to be on the light side, and had that problem. See, Kylo's kind of the opposite. He's wants to be on the dark side. I'm going to be a bad guy.
But maybe maybe his sympathy starts getting in the way sometimes.
That light side keeps pulling him.
Right. So he lets his anger out all the time.
Yeah.
In order to reassure himself, he's on. The dark side is there, and I'm powerful in the dark side.
Yeah, the fits are some of my favorite parts of the movie because he starts just slashing up computers. He just he goes all out like a rabid animal almost, and that's what makes him cool. He's almost like Savage type of just almost feral.
Yeah.
When he gets angry, which I really like. I find it very interesting. So I'm just gonna what are your guys' thoughts on this movie?
I'm like you, in between Return of the Jedi, well, Revenge of the Sith, I guess, and this movie. There really wasn't much Star Wars content out there.
No.
It was Clone Wars.
Right, and
But then that ended.
Right, that ended. I didn't even pick up on Clone Wars until I got Netflix.
Same here.
And binged the whole thing. And that's really what started to get me back into into Star Wars again, like, and the love of Star Wars started to, like, sort of lit a fire in me for the Star Wars universe again. It was never gone, but it was dim,
Yeah.
And then, we get the news that Disney has bought Lucasfilm and they're going to start making movies. Like, oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
but then there was also in my feelings about it was like, Disney, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, great Star Wars, great stuff, and then it's like Disney.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I just said,
once I found out they weren't really dissolving Lucasfilm.
yeah, that gave me more hope.
Right. They weren't really getting rid of Lucasfilm. They were just adding Lucasfilm to the Disney family.
And also when they announced that J.J. Abrams would be directing, that also, I'm like, okay, that's actually a good choice.
Yeah,
he did a good job in Star Trek. Obviously, yeah.
Right.
I'm sure he'll do a good job in this one.
Yeah, and then the movie came out. I saw it for the first time opening night. When I walked out of the theater, I'm like, that was Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is back.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I love this movie, and it's probably my fourth. It's probably tied for third favorite movie in the Star Wars.
With Return?
Yeah.
It's probably tied for third in mine too.
I think
With New Hope.
Man, Rey as the new protagonist, basically, I mean, it's going to be Rey's movie going forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She won me over.
Yep, immediately. And it's like watching her, move through and gather the stuff, and then just her opening scene where she slides down the hill on the sled and goes to her speeder. I mean, right there, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I like this girl, I like where this is going. And then you get to see her sort of life, like her day-to-day life, and
Yeah, she's wearing the helmet. And
she like, right.
Well, she's struggling first. She's having to clean all that stuff, and then she goes to sell it to Encore Plot, and he's barely giving her any food. And
right, and you kind of get like that instant, like she's been there a long time, and obviously by herself because she puts another mark on the wall.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like seem to skip over that scene, but that's a pretty important scene. I mean, it shows that she is keeping track of every day that she is there, and she knows exactly how long her, she's been abandoned there, basically.
Whoever dropped her off has been gone.
So, it gives you a little more insight into her character. She's lonely.
Yeah.
And then, she has her relationship with Unkar Plot, and she doesn't, she accepts the first one, and then the next time she goes, it's like, last time I gave you this, it was this many rations. Why, why are you being so cheap this time? You kind of see her attitude, a little bit of an attitude that she has, like a self-sufficient attitude, like she's confident. So, I mean, Rey is probably right now my favorite character in especially in this new trilogy. She's my favorite character.
Oh yeah, same here. She's
By
my
far.
favorite character too. I like Poe though. I like Poe.
Yeah, Rey's
I like Finn too.
Rey's probably my favorite since
I like all the characters
since I killed off Han Solo.
Yeah, well, seeing Han again, I mean, that whole scene on the Millennium Falcon, Han and Chewie showing back up.
Your man tears started
That's
falling.
one of the best. I almost wish they wouldn't have
Shown it
that
in the
trailer.
Me too.
Although it got me in the trailer, so the effect was still there.
Yeah.
It was just in the trailer, not in the movie.
I mean, but then you got Leia showing up. I was like, oh.
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the original three, and I didn't expect much out of Luke Skywalker in this movie, so I kind of went into this movie thinking he was only going to be in the last part of the movie anyway, and he was.
He was.
I thought he might have some lines, but he didn't.
Nope.
No big deal. I actually love where this movie leaves off.
Yeah.
It makes me want to see the next movie that much more.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're not giving scores yet, but just know I love this movie, so it's going to get a high score.
Yes, Aaron.
Me?
Right?
Yeah.
I was probably not quite as in the boat as you guys were with the being, your enthusiasm for Star Wars being down. Because if you've ever, none of you people out there have seen my room, but if you see my room, it's nothing but Star Wars crap everywhere.
But you're surrounded by it.
I'm
daily.
surrounded by it every day I go to sleep. Every time I go into my room, I'm surrounded by, thousands of pieces of Star Wars friggin' toys and memorabilia. So it's always been there. But for the passion for the movies, yeah. I mean, I'd always watch the old movies all the time, 3-4 times a year, each one. But when they said they were going to make these, I was like, yes, finally. And then I was like, can I get no offense to people who like the prequels, can I get that bad taste out of my mouth?
Yeah.
Because that's what my Star Wars had been. And I enjoyed the prequels.
Yeah.
I still watch them every now and then. But they just weren't as Star Wars needed to be.
Yeah.
No, they just didn't develop characters like they do.
They didn't develop the characters.
It was all about
There's too many.
effects.
I mean, I think one of the biggest problems with the prequels, honestly, is the time skips. And how many years skipped
especially
between movies?
Especially between Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars, there was way too big of a gap.
Oh yeah, way too much.
Yeah, there's a large gap there.
Way too big of a gap because you got that's why you had no Anakin character building.
That's why no one gave a crap about Anakin.
That's when all of the stuff that would have happened to him led him up to who he kind of was towards the end, and you didn't get to know what happened in that big giant gap between when he was 8 years old and when he's like 18 or 15 years old.
Yeah, 15 or 16.
There's, somewhere in there's got to be a lot of stuff that happens to him that starts turning him slowly to the dark side.
Well, you got Palpatine manipulating him on one end.
But you don't know that
because
you don't get to see it. And there's just, I agree, there's too big of a time jump.
You have his, the sort of guilt he probably feels for Qui-Gon and that kind of stuff. I mean, how much guilt did he carry with him for Qui-Gon's death?
He was also pissed when they freaking ordered the
you're too old to begin the training.
Train him. No, we're not going to train him. So, yeah, the prequels left that bad taste in my mouth. So when this movie came out, I went and saw it, and I'm like, I didn't have, great expectations for being a great movie.
Yeah.
And it's my fourth favorite. I like the original trilogy the best, but that's just me. And this one, every time I watch it, it grows on me a little more, and it grows on me a little more.
Actually, I like this movie more and more the more I watch it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. If you've only seen it one time, watch it some more.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because it gets better.
If you've only seen it 2 or 3 times. Watch it some more.
Watching it.
Because there are details that you pick up on all the time.
I mean, Ryan, for example, one night, because both of us stay up pretty late, one night he was just, going through that flashback scene, rewinding it, pausing it, playing it, rewinding it, pausing it, playing it. And I just come out and to get a drink, and then I just come out, and then all of a sudden I just get wrapped right up into it with him. I watch the rest of it with him, and then I go back in my room.
So yeah, I mean, Rey is my favorite character. I also like Finn. I like Poe. I like Han Solo. He's in the movie, so I like Han Solo. I like Chewbacca.
Chewie. Yeah, of course Chewie.
Yeah, I like BB-8. BB-8 was I'm glad they brought in a different droid.
Yeah.
A different type of droid. So BB-8 was cool.
I mean, a lot of people are worried about BB-8 when the first teaser came out, and you just saw him going rolling across the desert. I know a lot of people were worried about him, but hey, everyone fell in love with him.
Oh yeah.
So
I liked. Yeah, because there's some cool stuff about BB-8 that was just this little thumbs up thing to Finn, or when he's peeking around Han Solo's legs. He's he had character like R2-D2 had character.
Yeah,
right.
But different
and it's totally different though.
Right.
Yeah,
he's trying to decide between Finn and Rey,
or
when he's getting bounced around, he just throws out all those things and holds on. So I mean, he's lovable like R2-D2. But he's not
in a
totally different way because he's more fearful.
Yeah,
and I understand droids aren't supposed to have fear or whatever. He has a little more fearful to him.
I don't care what anyone says. Droids have emotions.
Yes. Where R2-D2 is fearless.
Oh yeah.
And he'll just go right across when a whole bunch of guys are shooting down a corridor, and he'll just go right across. He doesn't care. I'm not going to get hit. And it's like he has the force almost. Right. Yeah, whatever. I can just walk across here.
I mean, I heard the comparison that R2-D2 is more like a cat, while BB-8 is like a puppy.
Like a little puppy?
Yeah, like R2-D2 is a little more independent.
Yeah.
A little more self-sufficient. Whereas BB-8 is a little more bound to his person, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, my favorite parts of this movie, I love the part where they go to Maz's castle and Rey kind of learns when she grabs that lightsaber for the first time. She has those flashbacks, and it's just like she finally kind of realizes she does have the Force.
Yeah.
She doesn't really. I mean, I don't think she really believes it until she grabs that lightsaber, and then Maz Kanata's like, "It's calling to you."
I think that in the past, Rey has probably, like, maybe she just stuck out her hand one time and something moved, and she's like, "What?" Like maybe it was just out of the corner of her eye, and she didn't really notice it, and she was like, "Did that just happen?" And she just maybe thought like, "Oh, that must be just my imagination," stuff like that. I could definitely see that being like in her past.
Like, I definitely could see Rey being a little bit more like Anakin when he was young. Like, Anakin was the only human to race the pod races.
Yeah.
Because he was using the Force, even though he didn't know it.
Yeah.
Rey can fly and pilot just like she can because she's using the Force. She doesn't know it.
Yeah.
It's like an instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to her, it feels like instinct.
And Luke is one of the best bush pilots. I mean,
right.
He's using the Force. That's why he doesn't know he is.
No.
And he had no clue either until Obi-Wan told him,
right.
You can come with me and learn the ways of the Force. He's like, okay. And he starts training him. But even after A New Hope, Luke doesn't have really any idea of what the Force really is. It's not until he goes and learns with Yoda. And this is going to be kind of where you have a little bit of a parallel again in the first movie. But
it's a necessary parallel.
It's a necessary parallel
and
because otherwise, how is Rey ever going to learn?
And Maz never uses the Force. She's not a Force user. No.
In the cutscene, she is.
Wait, what?
There's a scene that was cut from the original or from the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where she does use the Force and brings down the ceiling on a bunch of First Order troopers.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of glad they cut that.
But it's been cut, so it's not in canon. So we don't know if she is a Force user.
Yeah.
But it was a scene that was cut from the movie.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like this. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't... It got me even more jazzed about Star Wars again.
I think one of the things that helped was that we went to the midnight release and just the crowd.
Yeah, you were in there with Star Wars fans.
And so, like, when that, like, the bum, like,
everybody started cheering.
Woo!
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was a really cool experience to be with those people, and I'm excited to be in that experience again for Last Jedi.
Yeah,
me too.
I love the theater experience watching the movie for the first time. There's almost nothing else beats it.
It's awesome.
I mean, I can watch it at home, but it's not the same thing as the first time.
The first time you see it in the theater, nothing really beats that experience.
Yeah, it's
all right.
awesome.
So scores.
I will. I mean, this is actually, you know what? Screw it. This is actually probably my second favorite Star Wars movie. I don't think this is tied for third. I think this is my second favorite. So, I'm going to give it a 5 quarter rations out of 5.
Quarter rations out of 5. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I love this movie to death, and the more I watch it, the more I love it. And I will continue to watch it, and I love where it left us off to look forward to The Last Jedi. So I like you, I'm going to switch. This is tied for second, so actually there's like a 3-way tie for first now. Because I love A New Hope first, and then Empire Strikes Back. And Force Awakens is right there, and Jedi's right there. So like all three of those are combined. So 3
tied for second place in your list?
4.99 BB-8 thumbs ups out of 5.
I'm going to go, this is, you guys are talking me into freaking changing my thought on fourth favorite. It's going to be tied with Return of the Jedi. It's my tied for number 3. And it's going to get 4.999 junk piles from Jakku out of 5.
All right. So, we all love the movie.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's only one issue I have. It gives that I can't give it a 5, and that's the underutilization of Phasma.
Yep.
Had they used her a little bit better, it'd have been a 5, and probably my favorite.
The reason why I give it a 5 over Phasma, because I am confident that she will freaking be kicking butt
Used in Last Jedi.
In Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm confident in that. So,
Yep.
and also the Phasma novel, just almost done. I'll marathon it tonight. So, I hope that you all enjoyed this 24th
24th episode.
24th episode of Red 2 Chatter. We got really passionate in this one, I feel. Especially with that Force Awakens review. Had another stroke there. You know what I mean? So, please like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Jay, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at jwilsonbydesign or at Twitter at jbird51.
I don't do social media, so you can only find me here.
And you can find me on YouTube as well under Major Glitterix. Link down in the description below. Right now, I am playing Yakuza 2, Nier Automata, and Persona 5 all at the same time. So that's fun.
Good grief.
Yeah, I know. You think having trouble keeping track of Star Wars canon is hard. Try keeping track of 3 different storylines at once. So I hope that you guys all enjoyed again, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.